Hey there, I have a 25-minute yoga flow for you. Today is about functional mobility, so we're going to do a variety of different things as well as a little bit of strength. So don't be surprised if there's some core incorporated. I've got a couple yoga blocks and a yoga strap. If you don't have those, your options are a couple sturdy water bottles or books and a belt. Let's start. We're going to start lying on our backs. You're going to just lay down, bend your knees, put your feet flat to the ground. Take one hand over your low belly and one hand over your heart space, so just over your sternum. Take a deep breath in and then push all the air out in a sound like you're making a shh sound, like you're making someone quiet down at the library. So shh, push all the air out. And then again, big breath in through the nose. And that exhale, push the air out. And we'll do it one more time. Breathe in, feel the low belly inflate. Feel the rib cage really expand. Long exhale. And then everything will come back down. So you've expanded everything on the inhale, and on the exhale, you try and get the rib cage to draw downwards. Tighten up the core a little bit here. And now breathe in through the nose. Seal the lips and breathe out through the nose. One more. Big breath in. And empty the breath out. I want you to notice if your lower back is really lifted off the ground. Draw the tailbone under ever so slightly. Don't tuck your tailbone, but draw it under so you can feel your tailbone pulling to your heels. Press into the heels and feel as though they're pulling back, heels kind of pulling back towards the sits bones. Hands down alongside you, relax your shoulders. Breathe in, expanding low belly and then rib cage, front, sides, and backs of the ribs. Breathe out, keep pressing in the feet. Inhale takes the hips up. Exhale, hold here, squeeze through the glutes, press down through the feet. Use this inhale to lower the hips down. Exhale, you're just going to reset here, feeling the ribs pull down. Feel a zippering up through the low belly. Deep breath in and start to lift the hips up. Exhale, pause, squeeze through the glutes, press through the feet. And then breathe in, slowly lower. Exhale, tighten up to the core. Feel again kind of a zippering up from pubic bone to belly button. Breathe in, lift the hips. Exhale, hold here at the top. Inhale, lower the hips down. Now we're going to reach the arms overhead. As you breathe in, lift the hips and reach the arms at the same time overhead. On the exhale, lower everything back to the mat. One breath, one movement. Inhale, we lift. Try and keep the entire foot, both feet down. Don't let yourself roll to the outer foot. And then come back down on the exhale. One more. Breathe in, lift, squeeze at the top. And now exhale, stay here. Inhale, arms are going to go down. Relax your shoulders, lift your chin off your chest. Lift your hips a little higher, feel a little squeeze through the glutes, and we're going to do some bridge marches. So keep looking up toward the ceiling and then just draw the right knee in, place the foot back on the ground, left knee in, place it on the ground. Hips are still lifted off the ground here. So working your glutes and your hamstrings. There should be no discomfort in your lower back. If there is, there's a possibility you're letting your pelvis move into an anterior tilt and you're not keeping your core engagement. So keeping your tailbone pulling toward the front of your mat. Keep your shoulders down. So it's a nice long line in torso and pelvis in one line. Good. Let's do one more right knee lifts. Put the foot down. One more left knee and lifts. Put the foot down. Press through the feet. Breathe in. Lift the hips higher. Stay. Exhale. Squeeze through the glutes. And then slowly inhale. Lower everything to the mat. Let's bring our knees up over our hips. Hands are going to press against the legs. As you exhale, you're going to draw the frontal ribs down. And then we're going to do what's called dying bugs. Right arm reaches back, left leg is going to go forward. You'll see I'm keeping my knee slightly bent here. It'll help protect the back. And then do the other side. So you're taking the left arm back, the right leg forward. Yes, you can do dying bugs with straight legs, but I would really caution you to do that only if you know that your lower back can stay pulling toward the ground. We're not overdoing the six-pack abs to keep the lower back down. Sometimes that happens where we really kind of pooch up the six-pack abs, but we're not doing that here today because we're trying to get those lower abs. So trying to get your transverse abdominis working here. So doing a couple more full range. Breathe in as you take arm and leg away. Exhale, come through center. And then we'll do one more with the left arm going back and the right leg going forward. Good, draw everything in. Give yourself a hug. And then roll like a ball. So grabbing behind the legs, roll all the way to the top of the mat and then all the way back. Forward and back. Trying to flex the spine, getting every part of your lower back down as you come up and back. And then one more. And this time cross your ankles, place your hands to the ground, step back, downward dog, walk out your head and shake out your neck. Walk out your legs, I should say, and shake out your neck. I think I said walk out your head. That would be weird. All right, you're staying here in downward dog. So once we're here, you might find that your hamstrings are really tight, and so I want you to bend your knees, but don't lose the extension of your spine. Keep pressing the hands down and move your chest back to your thighs. So with softened knees, keep getting that long extension here. Big breath in. Exhale, breath out. And then inhale, let's shift our body forward, high plank. So top of the push-up, shoulders are over the wrists. Press your heels away. Breathe in. Breathe out, lower your knees. And then let's lower our chest very slowly to the ground. Try not to let yourself plop down. Untuck the toes, breathe into cobra. Lift the heart. Breathe out, lower down. Press back to child's pose, knees go wide, big toes connected. Stretch yourself forward. Breathe in and exhale. Come back forward into your downward dog position. Tuck the toes, lift the seat again. Feel those hamstrings out. You might need to bend the knees. Breath in and exhale. Take your feet closer together at the back side of your mat and lift your right leg up to the sky. Bend the knee, roll the right hip open. I'm going to offer this here in down dog, which is going to be harder, and then also offer it with the left knee down, more in tabletop position. But we're going to do some big hip circles. So you're taking this right knee all the way around in a big circle to the belly and then opening it up again. So that is one option. Remember, that's the more challenging option. The other option is to come to tabletop position, quadruped position, and do these circles this way. So last rotation in this direction, and then let's change the directions of the rotation all the way around in the opposite direction. Now, if you had your left knee on the ground, you're in that tabletop position, come back to downward dog. We're going to shoot our right leg to the sky and breathe in. Exhale, step the right foot forward. This is where you might want your yoga blocks or whatever you're using underneath the hands, books or bottles. And then breathe in, lengthen the spine, press your chest forward, let the hips descend a bit. And as you exhale, pull the hips back, straighten the right leg a little or a lot, getting some hamstring lengthening. Again, breathe in, heart goes forward, shoulders go down. Breathe out, pull the hips back. One more, inhale. And then exhale, pull the hips back. This time I'd like you to rebend your front knee, find your balance here, and then rise up into crescent lunge. Reach the arms up. The back heel is lifted right over the toes. Your feet are on two separate tracks. Get long here from the sides of the body all the way to the fingers. Big breath in. As you exhale, find warrior two. Dropping through the back heel, open up the chest, and then spread through the fingers. So the gaze over the front middle finger, relax the shoulders down. Notice how your feet are here on the ground, ground down in the right foot, and feel the outer edge of the left foot pressing down. Take one more breath in. Exhale the breath. Flip your front palm Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands all the way down. You might want to move those blocks away. Step back to high plank. Breathe in. On the exhale, you're going to chaturanga, your low push-up. You can drop the knees if you'd like. Otherwise, they're just lowering with knees lifted. Roll to an upward facing dog. Lift the chest or a cobra pose. Downward facing dog. Lift the hips up and back. Drop your head. Big breath in. And a big breath out. Again, we're going to bring feet closer together at the back side of the mat. Taking the left leg now for that journey. Left leg to the sky. Bend the knee, roll the hip open. And then big, huge hip circles. Really exaggerate these. So all the way up, kick it open, and then all the way around and down. Again, you're welcome to do this in tabletop position, continuing to really find a lot of rotation in the hip. And then we're going to go in the other direction. So just switch those circles to the opposite way. Good work. If your right knee is on the ground, come back to a downward dog and then lift the left leg to the sky. Big breath in. As you exhale, step the left foot forward. Hands land on your yoga blocks or whatever you're using. Breathe in. The hips sink down a little bit. Lift the heart through as you lift the chest up. And then pull your hips back. Good work. So again, breath in, front knee bends. Breath out, straighten the front leg. Good, one more. Breathe in. And then breathe out, pull everything back. Now rebend your front knee, keep the back leg straight. And then start to lift the upper body up. So torso's over the pelvis, and then reach the arms up to the sky. Your crescent lunge position. The back heel over the toes, squeeze through the quad of the back leg. Breath goes in. Exhale, stay here. We have one more breath in. And then we find warrior two. Drop the back heel, open the arms, open up through the chest, set the gaze over the front middle finger. As long as the left knee feels okay, I want you to flex it deeply. Take a deep breath. Empty the breath. Flip your front palm. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Taking the left arm up and back. And then as you exhale, taking the hands to the ground. Move the blocks away if you're using blocks. Step back to plank. Decide if you'd like to drop the knees or not. And then go into your low push-up position. Hover. Now roll over the toes. Come into either cobra or upward facing dog. Shoulders go back. And then roll back over. Downward facing dog. Drop your head through. Breathe in. And a big empty. Walk your feet to the top of the mat. Take a breath in. Lift yourself halfway up. Hands come to shins. Heart goes forward. Exhale, take your bow. And then rise up to standing, but bring your yoga strap or your belt, whatever you've chosen to replace the strap if you're not using an actual strap. And then you're going to work on some shoulder mobility here. So I'm going to turn to face you. My feet are as wide as my hips. Heels right underneath the hips. And then I've got my strap to do what's called shoulder flossing. So you can take a nice strong grip of the strap. Take your arms up. Breathe in. And then as you breathe out, take the arms back behind you and down. Inhale, lift the arms up, and then bring them forward. So the wider your grip is on whatever you're using, strap or otherwise, the easier this will be. But I want you to not, so a couple things to notice. Are you bending your elbows? And if you are, try not to do that. Are you taking one arm back first and then the other? That's also a little bit of a cheat in this specific movement. So we're trying to take both arms up, straight back. And then as you're going back, I'll turn to the side. Notice if you're sticking out the butt and the chest, I want you to keep the abs really strong. So this motion only comes from the shoulders. We're gonna do one more full range here, all the way up. And I can go back quite far, but that might just be me. So it might not be you just yet. And also might not be you because of some injuries or whatnot. So I want you to be really mindful of that as you are flossing the shoulders. Take your strap away, find your way into a chair pose, sink the hips, reach the arms up. Breath goes in, sink the hips a little lower. Again, we're still trying to keep torso and pelvis in one line. Pull the arm bones back, inhale. And as you exhale, bow forward, release over the legs. Breathe in, lift halfway. Breathe out, hands go to the mat, step back to your plank. Inhale, find your high push-up. Exhale, find your low push-up, chaturanga. You're always welcome to drop knees, roll over the toes, lift the heart, either cobra or upward dog. Big breath in, downward dog, pulls you back, hips to sky. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, step the right foot forward, drop your left knee. Again, you can use your blocks here. Take one on either under each hand, and then let's pull our hips back. Wiggle your right foot forward. So I'm trying to get some hamstring length here. I'm gonna pull my right toes off the ground and then lift my chest forward. The tendency in this pose is for everyone to kind of round, just to get their body toward the leg, but I want you to feel, again, torso and pelvis in one line. So I'm lengthening forward, and that entire structure is going to go forward first before it goes down. So just notice if you are rounding in the upper back just to get yourself down. Instead, see if you can pull forward first. And then final little cue for your alignment. Notice if you're leaning a lot to the left. That'll happen naturally. So shift some of the body weight over to the right, and you'll feel a lot more in the back of the right leg. One more deep breath. Exhale. And then we're gonna rebend the right knee, put the right foot down, walk your blocks, books or what you're using, forward. So hands are gonna go forward, and then start to lift the back leg up. This is called supported warrior 3. Level hips. Heart is forward, shoulders are away from the ears. We're gonna try now and lift the hands to heart center. Pause, or arms alongside us for airplane arms. Tuck your chin slightly. Take a breath. Exhale, put your hands back down on your blocks. Stack your left hip on top of your right. So you're really finding this opening, turning both hips to the left. And then once you're here, the left hand's gonna open up to the sky to what's called half moon. Flex your foot in the sky. My left heel is in line with my left hip. My right hand, all the way to my left fingers, are also in one long line. Good work. Notice if you have a death grip on the right block, try and release that death grip. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, both hands come back to the block. Level your hips. Step all the way back. Hands to the ground. Right foot back. Vinyasa, your low push-up. You can drop your knees right down if you need. Upward dog to downward facing dog. Inhale, breath. Exhale, breath. And then take the left leg up to the sky. Big breath in. Step the left foot forward. Once you are here, drop your right knee. Grab onto the blocks. We're going to pull our hips back for that half split. So wiggle the left foot forward. Draw the left hip back. So foot forward, but hip back. Through the left knee, it's straight but not locked out. And then heart is lifting upwards first. And then a whole body structure from tailbone to sternum bows toward the front leg. Keep pulling your shoulders back. Notice if you're leaning right or left. I'd be surprised if you're leaning a lot to the left, just because the tendency is to go to what's easy, and that's usually leaning to the right. So we want to just level things off and pull the weight back to the left a bit. Take one more breath. Empty your breath. Rebend your front knee. Take your blocks forward of you. So hands will be on the blocks. You can flip them to the tallest level. It's usually the easiest in order to lift up into warrior 3. We're going to lift the back knee and then power that right leg up. So now level hips here. Hips are internally rotated. Heart is forward. You're in warrior 3. Hands are at the heart center. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take the arms alongside you. Slight tuck of the chin. Be careful not to flare open that right hip. So keep that right outer hip in line with the left outer hip. One more breath. And as you exhale, put your hands back on the block. Stack up, right hip on top of left. So now you've externally rotated your standing leg. And then I'd like you to take the right arm up to the sky for your half moon pose. Open up the chest. The last thing you do in this pose is look up to the top hand, but that's not necessary. More important is to keep your left foot on 12 o'clock. One more deep breath. As you exhale, bring both hands down, that right hand down to meet the block, level the hips, and then step back all the way, hands to the ground, high plank, chaturanga, low push-up, upward facing, lift your heart, or cobra, downward facing dog, lift your hips. Good work. Drop your knees to the ground. Tuck your toes, all 10 of them. Pinky toes sometimes don't want to behave, so make sure those are tucked as well. Sit back onto the heels. We'll do a camel pose, just a spinal extension here. So spring up so you're on your knees, torso and pelvis, one line. Take your hands to your lower back. Drop your tailbone and lift your heart. Squeeze your elbows toward one another. This is a great place to be. If you'd like to go further, slide your hands to the backs of the legs, backs of the thighs, or even hands can go down to your heels. Open up through the chest, and then let your head drop back as long as your neck feels okay. Big breath in, and it's hard to breathe in this pose. So see if you can just send a little more inhale. And then stay on the exhale. The next inhale, slowly come up, move your hands to your lower back. Reset head over body, and then sit back onto your heels. Well done. You're going to take your legs around, lie down onto your back. Give yourself a hug. Knees pulling into the chest. Rock yourself side to side. Happy baby. Grab outer edges of the feet. Widen your feet from one another so my heels are over my knees. And I want you to press your feet up into your hands, but your hands are resisting. It's a great way to get some external rotation. And just allow yourself to do the last couple poses before we rest. Take a breath in, and then exhale, releasing your feet. I'd like for you to press your feet down, move your hips to the right, and let your knees drop, both of your knees to the left. Open your arms either into cactus arms or into a T. So final twist here. And as you're twisted to the left, your right rib cage is going to be available for some deep breaths. So try and breathe so that you can really feel the rib cage expand. Good, one more deep breath. And then come back around. Move your hips a bit to the left, and then drop both knees over to the right. Again, arms are in either cactus arm or a T position, and then allow yourself to breathe deeply into your left rib cage. Come back around through center. Let your feet go wide and your knees knock together. And you can take your hands either alongside you or whatever's comfortable. One hand to the heart, one hand to the belly, like we did at the beginning of the session. Whatever feels right for you, and you can close the eyes. So it's a very short practice. Usually our yoga practices are 45 to 60 plus minutes, but 15 to 20 minutes, just so you can move the body. This is a great practice to do anytime, but especially if you notice you've been sitting a lot, or perhaps you've been really active, you've had a long day of hiking, you've had a long day of running around after so many different errands, following with the kids' school, whatever it might be, and you just need a chance to breathe and come back to doing some movements to really feel into your body, to feel what's going on with the body. This is a great practice to do that. So take a deep breath through your nose. Open your mouth and just sigh. Do that twice more with me. Big breath in. Sighing, exhale. And one more. I invite you to stay here. Stay as long as you need. in a rest pose. In your Shavasana, if you have time, you might want to even do a silent meditation after this practice. So make sure you support yourself however you need. But I will bid you farewell for now. When you are ready to come out, you can roll to one side and sit yourself up really slowly with eyes closed, just drawing the hands to prayer at the heart. Thank yourself for showing up, for doing the work, for staying with it, becoming present with the breath. I bow to you. Thumb knuckles arrive at the forehead center. Thank you very much for being with me today. If you have any questions, I'm always available to you. Well done.